3, 2, 1.
Hi, my name is Alan Pavlik, and the Pabs Report is a digital media agency tailored to fit an individual's needs. So I was born in Buenos Aires, Argentina, but I migrated to the United States when I was really young. So for as far as I can remember, I grew up in the LA region. My childhood was like most latchkey kids, full of a few adventures and close calls, but it shifted who I am today, and I'm grateful for those. As a child, I played basketball growing up. I was in 3 leagues at a time, bless my parents. So I always had an interest in sports. I didn't read books, but I read, box scores. As I grew a little bit older in middle school, high school, I started selling candy and I became a candy man. And that's kind of where I got my entrepreneurial spirit, and where I kind of realized how quickly, you can scale a business if you do it correctly. At one point in high school, I had 10 workers and I befriended the dean, so I can kind of get the inside scoop, all while collecting, bags of candy and cash at the end of the day. So that was really my entrepreneurial start. I think my relationship that I have with my family, my brother Jonathan, he was always a very creative person, and we were always able to shoot ideas off of each other and work off of each other's thought processes. But, my parents, they were always my biggest supporter, giving me the pen and paper as an outlet growing up, was probably one of the greatest things my parents did for me. Really taught me how to get emotions out on paper, but also just how to tell a story and make it fun. What memories do I cherish most? I would say, over at Peter Piper Pizza in Las Vegas with my grandma. She was always one to kind of cheat the system and knock the quarters over. I remember one time we came back and they actually put an alarm system for the first time, and we kind of got in trouble. But those are some of my favorite memories, hanging out with my grandma. And that's also where I've got my, fun, creative spirit from, was from her. Seeing her be a child at such an elderly age has always, reminded me to keep my spirit young and keep my thinking young as well. So I began my media career in Tucson, Arizona, where I had a really fun boss. I'll tell a quick story. During a negotiation, he reminded me before going in to speak with the GM that a TV's profit margin is similar to that of a cocaine dealer. So he really set the mindset right, and I really enjoyed that about him. And I really like to focus on that with my clients, is really setting the mindset right before going into your next meeting. And maybe I won't do it in such an extreme way, but that's something very important to me, and that's why I like to tailor these packages to each client, to each client's needs. So I started in Tucson, Arizona, where I quickly moved up into a middle management role as a morning executive producer. I got to try my hand at a lot of fun projects, half-hour specials, and that's kind of where I got my itch for documentary and long-form content. And when I moved to Seattle, I started as a morning news producer, but quickly moved into a special projects role where I took over a sports producing role, where I was producing live shows like Seahawks pre- and post-game shows, March Madness post-game shows, and the biggest event, Summer Seafair Parade, and the 4th of July fireworks show. After a few generations of bosses, my job description shifted a bit, and it turned into more of a online role, where I got to create a 24-hour programming wheel and produce content that runs strictly on the online channel. And that's really where I saw, content management come to life right in front of me when I was making that programming wheel, and saw the value in that. It was being able to take that out of a newsroom environment and really emphasize how important it is to have a programming wheel, to be, consistent with your messaging. I think the biggest challenge I faced personally was stepping out of news. I took 6 months off of work and really reset who I was, what I wanted to be, who I wanted to work with, and that's where the idea of the Pabs Report and this agency came from. It was in the midst of doubt leaning into what I know best: content creation, telling a story, and getting it out there to the public. You know, not being afraid to just publish it. You know, I stepped away from news because I got to a goal in life and realized I still wasn't happy. I reached a goal to be producing sports, you know, in a top 15 market, which I was, but I still was leaving shows unhappy. And I didn't understand why. And it was just the environment that I was in. It was the people that I was working for. And, you know, that's really why I wanted to step away and recalibrate what I want in my life. And those are the type of people I want to work with too, or those people that know, you know, what they want, understand that there's a work and a life balance. You know, in life, I'd like to be the yes-ander, because it's fun to see people reach their full potential, whether it's with you or without you. And that's why I always root my friends on from afar, no matter how long it's been since we've actually spoke. You know, I'm always rooting my friends on from afar. And that's what I want to be known for, someone that, you know, comes with a good attitude and comes with some ideas that may be out of the box, but something to try. And it might work and it might not, and that's okay. Cool, we tried it. So if that's something you want to work with, if that's something your business wants to work with, let's get together and meet, because I'd love to see about how we can tailor a package to your needs. I think I'm most proud about winning an Emmy Award, but I'm always going to tell people it was for my Supersonics documentary and not the Woodland Park Zoo series.
This is a wonderful experience. There's nothing like winning a championship.
Seattle's been without a basketball team for almost 2 decades now, more than 2 decades now, and they need to come back. So I'm really hoping that docu-series can lead to future work. Back to the achievement, I guess. You know, I got a comment from Lenny Wilkins, and he said that this was the best documentary produced on that, you know, team that he has ever seen. And, you know, I've won an Emmy. That comment, you know, means more, you know. The Emmy's on my mom's mantle. She's more proud of it than I am, to be honest. But that comment alone was, you know, really what I'd do it for. You know, I understand that people have hard days and lives are difficult and families, you know, things happen. But I want to make sure that I'm giving what I can and giving my happiest, you know, to this world. So having, you know, a smile on my face is something that I'm really, you know, something that I want to be remembered for. Another thing is just kind of giving. You know, giving to my friends and making sure I support my friends and my family all I can. You know, I always want to be all in for my friends and my family. I always want to make sure that, you know, I'm going to be there to be real with them too. You know, it's not about good times also. It's about the bad times. And, you know, I want to make sure that they understand that, you know, I'm going to be a voice that they can trust. Professionally, I want to grow this agency. One of my first mentors in the business told me to have 10 clients and you'll be stoked. So I'll revisit this when I have 10 clients. The largest hope I have for this business is really to help others, you know, understand the social media landscape and really, you know, inform people, you know, about the changes that occur. You know, every algorithm seems to change monthly. And there are so many different marketing channels that you can tap into, whether it's LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, Google ads, you know, Facebook ads. And it's really difficult to kind of break through the noise and really have a consistent, you know, content management approach to things. But that's what's most important, is being consistent if you want to start building that pipeline. And that's, you know, what I'm here to do and here to help do. And that's what I'm, you know, I hope I'll be remembered for.
One.
Here we go!